A very good afternoon to everyone gathered here and a warm welcome to the residence debate competition that we are having today here, organized by the Center for Community Medicine on the occasion of the International Youth Day. At the outset, I welcome our esteemed judges, our guests, our youth ambassadors, our beloved faculty, and all the residents gathered over here. Every year on 12th August, we mark the celebration of the International Youth Day as a day that is dedicated to discussing the pressing issues that are regarding adolescents' health, the cultural aspects, the legal issues that pertain to their well-being. And in the very spirit of this, we have decided to have a debate competition on a very relevant topic today, which is, are we ready to start comprehensive sexuality education in Indian schools? The junior residents of our department have taken this opportunity to put to task their debating skills and see if they can make us think deeply about this issue and, if possible, to pick a side. Without further delay, I invite Dr. Sumit Malhotra, professor in our department, to welcome all of you and to introduce the judges for the day.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Roshan. So warm welcome to everyone on the occasion of International Youth Day. And it's a great privilege and honor also to welcome the esteemed panel of judges that are present here on this particular occasion. Firstly, I would request Professor Kiran Goswami ma'am to welcome Dr. Shankar Chaudhary with a plant. Can I also have the slides, please? Okay, so let me introduce Dr. Shankar Chaudhary. Sir is the past faculty member, of Center for Community Medicine, our alumni member. He served as a faculty for over a decade, and he taught, subjects related to health behavior and health promotion, as he being primarily behavioral scientist. He actually led the HIV movement in our department, and then also, spearheaded this at global platforms in WHO Geneva. And then he moved to the UNESCO cluster office in India, wherein a lot of sexuality education was being promoted and propagated and disseminated because of his constant, untiring efforts. Next, I would like to welcome Dr. Rajesh Mehta. And again, I request ma'am to welcome Dr. Rajesh Mehta. So, sir is Adjunct Professor, Public Health Foundation of India, also chairing Quality and Patient Safety Working Group, International Pediatric Association, has been an ex-faculty, Vardhan Mahavir Medical College in Safdarjung Hospital, New Delhi. He has been a formal advisor, regional advisor at World Health Organization Regional Office for Southeast Asia Office. And his work is really inspiring, especially in the field of the adolescent health. Has contributed immensely for, setting up national adolescent health programs and supported implementation of national adolescent health programs in more than 10 countries in the region. He's also a quality improvement champion and expert, and we at AIIMS know his efforts for initiating point of care quality improvement studies, and there has been several in the Department of Pediatrics and other departments. He has been an advocate and champion also for prevention and control of birth defects, and has received several laurels to its credit. Next, I want to welcome Professor Jugal Kishore sir, our own alumni, and again I'll request madam to please, on the behalf of department, to please welcome Dr. Jugal Kishore. So, sir is ex-head of the Department Community Medicine and Director Professor at Vardhan Medical College and Safdarjung Hospital in Department of Community Medicine. He is also the Secretary General of Indian Association of Adolescent Health, a prolific writer, has written several books and publications, and my association to him also dates back when I was a senior resident at MAMC. wherein I contributed to his one of his books, Dictionary of Public Health, and I know the efforts that it requires to really get one book, and finally now it's now read by everyone. Next, I would like to welcome Dr. Nilesh Deshpande. Uh, Dr. Nilesh represents UNFPA. He is working as National Technical Specialist, adolescent and youth, a senior public health professional with an over, 25 years of experience in range of areas, and actually also propagated a lot of adolescent health, sexual and reproductive health in almost all different parts of our country. Next, I would like to welcome a very dear friend, Ms. Sarita Jadhav. Again, I'll request ma'am. So, Ms. Sarita works as National Program Officer in UNESCO New Delhi office. She is a development specialist with more than 25 years of experience, an immense, passionate, person who works for the agenda of sexual and reproductive health, gender-based violence. And my association with Ms. Sarita and the UNESCO is basically in teaching principles in relation to school health and wellness program. And she has a very important mission of training more than 1,000 principals all across the country in the CBSE schools. And I do take sessions in that, and I know that's a marathon task, talking to principals and propagating the agenda of school well-being and our, young people's well-being. Now, next, I want to welcome two very special youth ambassadors also who are there on this special occasion of International Youth Day. So Dr. Aman is basically a UGC Senior Research Fellow, has received a fellowship from the Mamta Health Institute for her significant contributions to youth development. And her academic achievements include, Dr. Indrayanan Award for scoring second highest in biostatistics when she was doing her master's degree. She has worked in the area of adolescent mental health and has taken a lot of sessions, especially the JNU mental literacy and the substance use. She has developed a lot of material disseminating mental health and substance use literacy awareness among college-going students. She has also been a recipient of an international grant by Royal Society of Tropical Medicine and Hygiene. So, Aman, welcome. And if you can just get up and show everyone, you are a very special guest. Then we have another very important, guest gracing this occasion, Parinika. So, Parinika is still undergoing her MBBS. She's an 8th semester student, medical student, and she is involved in plenty of research projects, multiple departments, very rich experience, and in fact, her CV really is very long. If I have to read, I spend almost an hour reading that, but that's very nice to note. But I just would like to mention something very, very important. She's a member of ACQUISIS, and that is Amazonians for Queer Solidarity, Inclusivity and Support. So she's spearheading that movement and a very active member in that particular domain, and also is working, in a lot of co-curricular activities. She's a co-secretary in the music club and also a working committee member, editorial board of AIIMS Student Association. So please rise and show, yourself. So welcome, Parinika, to this occasion. And I'll request the two youth ambassadors to come forward and also welcome our two very important members of our department, Professor Kiran Goswami, Bioplants. Please come forward. So Aman, please welcome Madam. And we also have among us, very special member of our fraternity and our, community, our family, Professor Anil Goswami, sir. So please come forward. And I request now Parnika to please welcome Sir. Sir actually is the faculty, ex-faculty of our department in the field of health education. And everybody in our department knows him. He takes, he has been taking all the sessions related to health education, both, within the premises of AIIMS and also whenever we were there in the all our outreach communities, he was the most active person among everyone talking and spearheading health literacy and health education, be it any domain. So welcome, sir, and thank you for being present here. Now, this International Youth Day is talking about, beyond SDGs and role of, the youth action. So at department, we thought that it's very important to engage our youth, and therefore we thought about something, which is a debatable topic and which, can evoke interest among the youth that are there within the department, and also an occasion for their learning so that they also enhance their understanding critically about various domains when it comes to youth and adolescent health issues. And that was the reason we chose this particular topic of, are we ready to introduce comprehensive sexuality education in Indian schools? Now we have two teams here, so I'll request the students to please come forward, one for the for team, and they introduce themselves, and then followed by the against team, and then we'll start the business. So for team, please come, and maybe you can introduce yourself one by one, and you go back, and then the against team come please. Pashu, come. Yeah. Either Pashu, come here. Stand there.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dr. Parshav Gilotra. I am currently junior resident in Department of in Center for Community Medicine, and I have currently passed my exams. And today we are speaking for the motion. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Come next.
Hello, everybody. I'm Dr. Jayashree. So I'm a 6th semester junior resident. I'm a 6th semester junior resident in the Center for Community Medicine, and I'm speaking for the motion.
Come. Please stand on the podium, because there's a live YouTube streaming going on.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Dr. Aravind, final semester JR in Center for Community Medicine. We are talking for the motion.
Happy afternoon all. I'm Dr. Afshin and I'm doing second semester in Center for Community Medicine, and I'll be talking for the motion.
Good afternoon, everybody. Myself, Dr. Nirmal, final semester JR, Center for Community Medicine. I'm going to speak for the CSE in schools.
So this was for team and now the against team.
Good afternoon, everyone. Myself, Dr. Nikhil Patil from Center for Community Medicine Department, and me and my team will be speaking against the motion.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dr. Gayatri. I'm a 6th semester junior resident at Center for Community Medicine.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dr. Tamil Arabi, 6th semester junior resident in Center for Community Medicine.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dr. Pranav from junior resident at Center for Community Medicine. We'll be talking against the motion.
Good afternoon, everyone. Myself, Dr. Prakalp Gupta. I am a 6th semester junior resident at Center for Community Medicine. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Now, back to you, Dr. Roshan, and we'll start the debate. Yeah.
Since there's a bit of an echo, we'll attempt to have this without the mic. I hope everyone was able to hear all the speakers. And I'm guessing this was the introductory volume, but once they get into their debate mode, I'm pretty sure the voice will come out more aggressive. So I think we can attempt to do it without the mic. However, we'll try to look for, get a setup if possible, if the requirement comes. I'll quickly run through the rules and the flow of the debates that we're having today. We're following the Oxford style of debate today. This has 4 rounds. The first segment is that of the opening statements. For this, 4 members from each team will get to come and give their comments. We're going to have one person from each team alternating. That is, one person from the 4 team will come and give their viewpoints, followed by one from the against, then one from 4, and then so on. Each participant gets a maximum of 5 minutes to put across their opening statement. So following this session, we'll have a small tea break so that we come back more charged up for a heated round in the next segment. The next segment is going to be that of the rebuttal, wherein one person from each team is going to come and give their counter arguments for any of the points that the opposing team had given in the first segment. For this, again, the participant will get a maximum of 5 minutes to speak. This is then going to be followed by a final segment for the closing remarks, wherein again one participant from each team will come and give their viewpoints. Again, a maximum of 5 minutes for you guys. And finally, we're going to have a question and answer session, wherein first our judges will put across their questions to both the teams, followed by which we will be opening the stage for the audience to give out their questions, ask their questions to both the teams. So I request the audience to save their questions for the last segment so that the flow of their arguments during the previous sessions is maintained. A few general basic rules for both the teams that goes without saying is that kindly make sure that we maintain a respectful and professional tone and we don't make any personal attacks. And our debate is purely based on the merit of our arguments. Again, I think that goes without saying, and I'm sure everyone's prepared. We'll be having 2 prizes for the debate competition today. One will be the winning team, and the other will be that of the best speaker. All right. So I don't want to delay further. I don't want to keep you all waiting. We'll start with the first segment, which is the opening statement. The team speaking for the motion is going to start this segment. So I request the first speaker from the team to come forward. I also request participants from both the teams to please speak out your name when you're starting your argument so that the judges can make a note. Okay, good luck, you guys.
If a single question on sexuality can bring silence, imagine what years of silence can do to a generation. I, myself, Dr. Afshin, am here to speak for the motion that we are ready to introduce comprehensive sexuality education in Indian schools. Before that, I would like to clearly explain what CSE actually is. It is a curriculum-based method of teaching and learning about the emotional, mental, physical, and social aspects of sexuality. Sexuality here means being human. Many of us think that sexuality, the comprehensive sexuality education, is about birth control and how we have babies. It is much more than that. It teaches the children how to be aware of their bodily rights and also the legal aspects of it. It also teaches them understand the safe and unsafe touch, recognize abuse, gender-based violence, challenge stigma, discrimination, and then promote inclusion. Teach them about the consequences of early child marriages, and also importantly it shows where to go for help. It also builds respect in relationships, teaches them values, and it also helps them differentiate positive and negative peer influences too. It creates awareness regarding sexually transmitted infections and to HIV also. So it is clear that the comprehensive sexuality education will teach the children to stay healthy, feel confident, and live with dignity. Imagine a 5-year-old survivor of sexual abuse who stayed silent for weeks, not because she didn't want to speak up, but because she didn't know how to, and she didn't know whom to trust, and she didn't have the words. Comprehensive sexuality education could have given her the words, the vocabulary, and the space to speak up. So, let me ask in this very room, how many of us have known someone who has faced sexual harassment and have never opened up? Let's think for a second. We might all have, but we might also have stood up by them and then speak their rights. But we also know the cost of silence. Thus, I just stand here firmly believing that India is not just ready for CSE, we are desperate for it. Now, let me speak in numbers. The crime rates against children has raised from 33.6 in 2021 to 36.6 in 2022. And also the cruelty against women has also rose as standing at 1,44,090 according to the National Crime Records Bureau 2022 report. And also the POXO cases rising from 52,836 to 60,414. These are just numbers for you. The question is clear. The question is not are we ready for CSE. My question here will be how many children we will lose if we wait. The need is clear, and thus we'll just now I have a question like formally the children today will learn about sex and relationship if we formally teach them or not. The main sources being friends, the whispers between the friends in the classroom, in the playgrounds, social media, and now ChatGPT, Perplexity Pro, and Meta AI. So I would like to pose a question to my fellow opponents. Will we guide this conversation, or will we tell them to go and take this information from the pornography, or will we guide the misinformation? Let's think about it. So, the conversation has already started. The youth of India is ready, curious. Now, we must just channel this curiosity into a scientifically appropriate and age-appropriate guidance through CSE. India is not just ready, it has already begun, for which my teammates will provide a compelling proof to show you how far we have come. So, we were not taught CSE, our parents were not taught CSE. If we say we are not ready, the cycle will never break. Today's children are tomorrow's parents and teachers. Every day we delay, we gamble with their dignity, their dreams, their lives. Today we have a choice to wait and watch or to act and protect. We choose to act, we choose to protect. We choose to be ready, not tomorrow, not someday, but right here and right now. Thank you all.
A wonderful start by Akshay. Very good. First number from the against team will be taking stage.
Good afternoon, everyone. Myself, Dr. Nikhil Patil. So I will be opening for my team, that is against the motion. Are we ready to introduce comprehensive sexuality education in Indian school currently? The answer is clear and loud. No. I begin clearly stating that we do not support the introduction of comprehensive sexuality education as defined by international standards in Indian schools at this present time. As Dr. Afshin told what comprehensive sexuality against education is, now let me be absolutely clear about our position, me and my team's position. We are not against the scientific education about human biology or reproductive health. We are not against protecting children from abuse or teaching about them consent. We are not against the right of LGBTQ community or their dignity. Our team stands for safety, health, and values of Indian children. We support age-appropriate, culturally sensitive, and evidence-based education, not just a blanket of implementation of this comprehensive sexuality education that are out of sync with our Indian realities. So we stand for strengthening India's current existing social health and school health and wellness program launched under Ayushman Bharat, that we already know that it covers some 11 themes that are emotional well-being, interpersonal relationships, safety, digital literacy, menstrual health, and even basic reproductive health by well-trained teaching ambassadors that conduct these themes weekly. We do not support for premature introduction of CSE as defined internationally, because by every rational measure, India is not ready. Why? Our team stands for 4 clear pillars. First, the misfit of the content. India's current education is not does not include or is fit to include the topics as Dr. Afshin told about the CSE in our current education system. And a 2022 review by Population Foundation of India found that government curricula systematically exclude some topics like menstrual health, abortion, contraceptive use, sexual pleasure, and nuanced gender identity. Precisely because these topics are socially and politically too sensitive for our Indian classrooms. And in India, any attempt to include these topics will reverse, like they will cause social backlash or controversy. And the second topic is our system ready or is it capable enough? So UNESCO affirms, as Dr. Afshin told, that CSE's effectiveness depends on skilled, well-trained teachers and safe environments that and to provide youth-friendly health services. But the same research, UNESCO own analysis suggests that Indian teachers are uncomfortable with sexuality topics, lack adequate training, and deliver content, and it is seen that they deliver content unevenly. So instead of rushing towards this CSE, we must consolidate what we already have, build capacity, provide continuous professional development to teachers, and strengthening the existing school health and wellness program. And the third and most important one is, as we all know, India is a diverse socio-cultural rich country. So it is immense cultural diversity. So example, what we see here in Delhi, it may be normal here. So it may be deeply uncomfortable in remote village like we all has experienced in PSC Chesa or PSC Dayalpur. So UNESCO itself recommends context appropriate, culturally relevant sexual education. The same 2022 Population Foundation of India suggests that sexual topics have pushback from parents and community resistance from communities to even basic terms like sex and sexuality. So our current programs focus wisely on themes like health, bullying, digital safety, and basics of reproductive health. So we should, with public consensus, so we should focus more on them. So abruptly introducing explicit content not only risks community outrage and teacher refusal, it could stigmatize students. And the fourth and final pillar is that the risk of premature sexualization and experimentation. International studies, including UNESCO's claims that CSC, when delivered ideally, can delay sexual activity and improve safety. So, but those assume to be ideal condition like highly trained teacher, safe environment, full community support, and as indicated by Population Foundation, India in all these four categories is not even ready. So poorly delivered and misunderstood content can confuse students. So what I think is, what is safer and more responsible path? Strengthen the current wellness program, engage parents, communities, and leaders and early and transparently. So build strong, confidential referral pathways. So comprehensive sexuality education by international standard is not a bad idea in principle, but for Indian schools right now is premature, culturally misaligned, under-supported, and potentially counterproductive. So let us not rush where caution and prevention are essential. Let us strengthen what we have, build capacity and even social legitimacy, and protect our children. So for all these reasons, I urge you to vote against the motion. Thank you.
Good afternoon to everybody. Myself, Dr. Nirmal. I'm going to speak to introduce CSE in schools. So I like to open up with a quote: if we don't teach our children, the world will, and the world may not be kind. I firmly believe India is ready to introduce comprehensive sexual education in school, and it had already begun. The only task left is to make uniform reality across the nation. The global evidence show it works across the world, especially in low and middle income countries. CSE has scaled successfully with measurable impact. UNESCO review over 36 countries shows CSE improves our knowledge, reduces risky behavior, and strengthen the respect for gender. In low middle income countries, Bangladesh shows CSC with community outreach reduces 31% of teenage pregnancy. In Rwanda, integrated CSC into national curriculum, leading to 15% drop in childhood marriage in just 5 years. This nation with fewer resources can achieve this. India with vast school network, trained educators and adolescent health initiative is fully capable of scaling it nationwide. CSE is already introduced in India. NCERT Adolescent Education Program launched in 2007 delivers age-appropriate CSE content on puberty, menstrual hygiene, gender equality and HIV prevention. States like Kerala, Maharashtra, Odisha have successfully implemented with positive feedback. In Rajasthan and Uttarakhand, CSE topics are embedded in life skills modules with positive feedback. The RKSK under the Health Ministry train the school ambassadors, the students who promote health awareness, including CSE and among their peers. This is proof CSE is not a concept on paper, it is reality in action. What remains is scaling it from scattered success to nationwide coverage. Curriculum is ready and adaptable. The existing modules, it starts by appropriate by age group. Starts from class 6 to 8, focus on menstrual hygiene, puberty, respect for others. From class 9 to 10, focus on reproductive health, consent, online safety. From class 11 to 12 on contraception, sexually transmitted infection, gender roles, emotional well-being. Delivery can be in local languages, adapted to socially context, led by trained educators or health workers who work with school ambassadors, bridging the peer to for communication. India has already over 9.5 lakhs schools under school health and wellness program infrastructure. We only need to connect the dots. Indian laws. The CSE supports POSCO Act mandate for child protection. National Education Policy 2020 calls for life skill and health awareness. The CSE fits perfectly. The UN Sustainable Developmental Goal aligns with SDG 3 for health and well-being, reduces the maternal mortality and ensures the universal reproductive health. And with SDG 4 for quality education, equips learners with knowledge for sustainable development and human rights. And SDG 5 for gender equality, end the violence, eliminate early marriages, ensure the reproductive rights. Now, India is not only ready for CSE, we have already begun. The urgency is real, the curriculum exists, the infrastructure works. The question is not should we introduce CSE, but how quickly can we take it to every child? Because child deserve truth, not taboos. If you equip them with knowledge today, we save them from regret tomorrow. The best time to make CSE is yesterday. The next best time is today. Thank you.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dr. Gayatri, and I am talking against the motion. Our friend here seems angry with us. I don't know for what reason. And listening to the previous speaker, I was almost swept away by the utopian vision. It was a beautiful dream of flawless implementation and universal acceptance. But then I remembered what I am here for, to talk about the reality. And the reality is a lot can go wrong between a well-intentioned idea and successful implementation. I stand here today to tell you why India is simply not ready for comprehensive sexuality education in our schools. Though the idea sounds great, well, at least to some of us, if we look closely at our schools, our society, and how we actually do things, we can see how jumping right into CSE can cause more problems than it can solve. Firstly, our schools themselves have big problems that needs to be fixed. Our teachers and school facilities just are not prepared yet for delivering CSE. Well, think of it like this. You can't build a strong second floor if the first floor is shaky. Our education system, though massive, has some serious cracks. Trying to add something like CSE on top of these cracks is a disaster. We already have a big problem with not having enough teachers to our schools, even for core and basic subjects like science and maths. The National Education Policy, it prescribes a ratio of 30:1, that is the student is to teacher ratio of 30:1. But many schools in our country still are well below this level. Thousands of schools in our country has only single teacher. If you talk about Haryana, there are around 800 villages which is handled by a single teacher. And around 20% of schools in 20 to 25% of schools in Haryana have an adverse pupil to teacher ratio. Many of our teachers in our schools are overworked. Now, tell me, where will our teachers get time from? Who will do their routine activities and who will take care of these classes in their absence? Now, imagine asking these same teachers to become experts in something as personal and tricky as sexuality. It is just not fair, or it is not realistic. What happens when we add more water to an already full cup? It overflows. Now, the other question is, how skilled are our teachers? The real question to ask is, how many training sessions or how many hours of training can make our teachers ready? How many training sessions can enable our teachers to become comfortable to talk to the students about such sensitive matters? CSE is not just about facts, it's about feelings, personal experiences, and sensitive discussions. Our teachers in our schools, many of whom who grew up in the same conservative homes and society, they often feel awkward or uncomfortable talking about these topics. Their personal biases, I believe, can hinder how sexuality education is imparted to the students. Can we expect these teachers to provide an enabling environment where our students can talk up? How do we expect our students to discuss about these topics or issues with people who are at least a decade older than them? Do we really expect our students to be comfortable with them? I don't think so. It is not the same as discussing with a friend or a sibling or a cousin or for that matter the parents. CSE is not just a subject, it needs a strong support system. This means having school counselors, mental health experts, but in most Indian schools, especially in the smaller towns and villages, these are missing. If we introduce CSE without them, students who have questions or problems after the discussion will have nowhere else to go for help. Unfortunately, nowadays we often come across cases of sexual harassment of students by teachers. Just a month ago in Mumbai, a 40-year-old teacher was charged for assaulting a 16-year-old boy. She succeeded in convincing the boy that affairs between older women and teenage boys have become quite common nowadays. This isn't a blanket statement which I'm making. This isn't about all teachers. I know there are amazing teachers out there and I have been lucky enough to have some great ones myself. The point is, when these circumstances exist in our society, how do we ensure that our students won't get exploited or misled? How do we expect the parents to trust and support discussing about sexuality with people who themselves can be potentially harmful? I think in India, as of now, there are more important things that we should be talking about than CSE. Our schools lack basic facilities. I would like to repeat it. Our schools lack basic facilities. Let's be honest. Many of our schools, especially in the rural areas, don't even have basic things like clean drinking water, separate toilets for boys and girls, or working hand washing facilities. Nearly 30% of the schools in Haryana do not have a functional girls' toilet. 25% of schools don't have clean drinking water facilities. How many of our schools have computer, or how many of our schools have smart classrooms to impart this kind of education? From my personal experience, I have seen schools in the rural villages of Haryana where students sit together, not according to age, not according to class, managed by a single teacher. And my friends here, they're talking about age-appropriate sexuality education. Now, speaking about the curriculum, a single curriculum won't work for a diverse nation like India. I would like to take your attention to what happened recently in Kerala, where they tried to introduce Zumba classes in the schools in order to, as a part of de-addicting from drugs and also for fitness. Many conservative groups had problem with this. It was not that they were against exercise, but rather they were against the idea of boys and girls dancing together in the schools. Now, imagine if Zumba can offend something like communities like this. Imagine the uproar if we introduce a full CSE curriculum. Now, the curriculum needs to be carefully designed to fit the different cultures, languages, and religions of each region, and I don't really think India is ready for it yet. Keeping all this apart, even if we imagine a world where our infrastructure is in place, where our resources are in place, are we ready yet? No, because our education system is largely focused on memorizing facts and passing exams. Is this how you learn about sexuality? Comprehensive sexuality education needs open talks, critical thinking, and a safe space to ask questions. Are we capable enough to provide this now? Well, I don't think so. To wrap up, while we all want our children to be well informed, putting CSE into Indian schools right now is a very risky move. The problems are not small, they are big, deep-rooted issues within our schools, our societies, and our resources. Instead of rushing, India needs to take careful, smart steps, empower teachers, build better schools, and talk to our local communities.
I hope you all can see how charged up our residents are already about the motion they are speaking for or against. But I request all the participants to make sure you stick to the time of 5 minutes. It was a very conscious decision we took to not do the bell, to not ring a bell to disturb the flow while you speak. But please make sure you stick to the time. Okay? That's important.
Good afternoon, everybody. So I'm Dr. Jayashree and I'm here to speak for the motion. So my colleague Dr. Gayatri seems to be very angry about how very simple class, Zumba class, can create so much of chaos in the society, where the same Kerala she described is trying to implement comprehensive sexuality education in the name of Project X. So I would suggest probably read about it more. So my teammates have already established the need for comprehensive sexuality education, the data and all the structure function. I am here to just elaborate a bit more about how structurally we are saying we are ready, the readiness component. So UNESCO's comprehensive sexuality education toolkit describes readiness involves a series of steps, right from engaging stakeholders to understanding our needs and defining our goals and objectives, till piloting a curriculum and monitoring. And if we see, India has almost done all of this. We have engaged governments, teachers, communities, parents, not just through isolated pilot programs, but through a national program called Rashtriya Kishor Swasthya Karyakram. RKSK has brought together Ministry of Education, Ministry of Health, Ministry of Women and Child Development together along with NGOs in delivering adolescent-friendly health education, including life skill-based education and sexual reproductive health in schools, which are backed by a team of adolescent health coordinators and satiyas who are peer-trained educators. So, also UNICEF in partnership with UNFPA has provided technical support to Ministry of Health and Family and Welfare and NCRT to develop 11 core modules on adolescent health and well-being for schools. They also have worked with the school health and wellness program in training teachers as health and wellness ambassadors. And the technical operational framework for delivering CSE is developed with guidance from WHO. So all these points, precisely points that we are actually structurally ready to implement comprehensive sexuality education. And if you're still questioning our efforts for the readiness part of it, it's doubting and it is already existing, and the emphasis now I believe should be on the scalability. So around 80% of the women, why do we need to do all of this? Around 80% of the women and 30% of the men aged 15 to 24 years, only these much of numbers could answer a common questions regarding HIV prevention knowledge. This is from data from NFHS 5, and also the adolescent fertility rate according to NFHS 5 is 43 live births per 1,000 women. A study by Prasad R. et al. In the urban slums of Jaipur found that more than 60% of the girls couldn't tell about very basic concepts of understanding what menstruation is. So again, all these underscore the pressing need for empowering our younger generation with correct knowledge. So these critical gaps are, it's not like India is starting from scratch and implementing CSE. We have actually successfully piloted solutions for these challenges in various places across India, beginning with the story of Udan in Jharkhand, where Udan, a school-based adolescent education program in Jharkhand, was initiated by Center for Catalyzing Change in partnership with the government of Jharkhand, and its success story is built by how they did it in a very phased manner and scaled it up. They began with reviewing and engaging the stakeholders in conversation, and then they adapted the existing HIV prevention curriculum into a 13-module program for adolescent health, which included topics on skills, gender and reproductive health, and it was delivered initially to the class 10 and 11, and then scaled up to class 6 to 9, and they also trained almost around 6,000 teachers. Udan and Jharkhand improved sexual reproductive health knowledge, menstrual hygiene, and gender equitable attitudes in both urban and rural schools. Another story from Bihar, Prachar, a community-based project which was implemented around 2001 to 2012. Its primary goal was to improve adolescent and young adult reproductive health, because there the early marriage was a norm. So they wanted to delay the age of first marriage and first child and increase the use of contraceptives by educating them, and it reached thousands of villages, raising awareness about the contraceptive use and delaying marriage through community-based peer education. Saloni, a cluster randomized control trial, aimed to test if early adolescents aged 11 to 14 years is a gateway moment for establishing healthy behaviors in rural Uttar Pradesh, India. Was a 10 session, they had a 10 session school based program designed to improve nutrition, hygiene and reproductive health behaviors, and it achieved a 65% adoption rate compared to 5% in the control schools. So, and Kerala's life skill education program made sexual reproductive health a family conversation, which increases the parent adolescent communication and normalizing the stigma around sexual health. And Kerala also has already embedded gender neutral policies and addressed gender diversity in classrooms. Karnataka has introduced NGO supported sessions on sexual orientation and identity. The Transgender Persons Protection Rights Act 2019 mandates school awareness creation to prevent discrimination. And in some RKSK districts, peer educators are trained to move beyond heteronormative content. The program's core principle is gender equity and inclusion, meaning it acknowledges the diverse needs and identities of adolescents, moving beyond a narrow focus on heterosexual and cisgender individuals. And all these, from surveys to RCTs, from peer-led delivery in Prachar to teachers, student learning in Udan, these are not just concepts in paper. They are solutions to the concerns existing in our homeland. And they found solutions in our own communities and in our own classrooms, proving that inclusivity can be done respectfully and effectively. And comprehensive sexuality education is where and how we make the inclusivity real in everyday classrooms. This is not a wishful thinking. This is system acting. So here we are. We have the laws, we have the curriculum, we have the teachers, we have the tools to promise our children with a will that no child will be afraid to ask questions, a promise that our classrooms will be places of dignity, equality and truth. And if we keep this promise, we are not just teaching lessons, we are shaping a generation that is kinder, braver and wiser.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you, Jayashree, for opening our eyes. I want to speak about receptance, or rather, the lack of it. Because a good idea implemented in the wrong environment can become a disaster. Let me start with a quick question. Will rolling out CSE today help our children, help the most vulnerable children, or just push them out of schools? We can design a world-class curricula in an air-conditioned room, but implementation happens in villages where schools have more leaks than their curricula, than their syllabus. Municipal schools with 70 plus students, cramped villages, cramped private classrooms, homes where the word period is treated like Voldemort, he who must not be named. Speaking of this reminds me of Thane horror, where on 10th July 2025, a female principal and female peon of a state board school were booked after female students were asked to strip to ascertain if they were menstruating. If menstruation, a normal biological process, can provoke such humiliation, what will happen when the same schools are expected to discuss sexual orientation and safe sex? My friends in the proposing team might believe the training teachers will solve these issues, but can a multi-day 24 hours training change decades of stigma? In 2000, and this is not an isolated issue, in 2018, Karnataka saw a moral policing incident where parents stormed into classroom accusing a teacher of corrupting girls because she conducted a lesson on puberty. And my friends were very fond of Kerala. In 2023, CSE workshop in Kerala faced violent protests after parents claimed it promoted homosexuality. And let's not pretend these are the only issues faced by girls in our country. As my friend suggested, there has been heartbreaking headlines where teachers themselves were being accused of sexual assault. Just last year in Jharkhand and in Tamil Nadu, teachers were arrested for harassing multiple girls. If parents are already scared that people who are meant to protect their children are harming them, can we accept them to be okay with the same teachers teaching them about sexual pleasure, relationships? The unfortunate reality is one bad headline in one town can destroy the trust everywhere. And when the trust collapses, children, especially girls, will be pulled out of schools. So, who are we expecting to teach our children about CSE when we face major issues with our gurus, who we in India consider a step above gods? This also leads to a question. Do we have enough counselors, trained staff, protected reporting channels? If we implement CSE in schools without cultural sensitivity and community education, it could make people feel blindsided and their reaction can be loud and sometimes violent. What happens when that happens? Are we ready to protect our schools, teachers, and educational institutions? When community backlash comes, who leaves first? The poorest. When already girls of low-income households are at risk of dropping out due to menstruation, stigma, early marriages, household duties. Added to that, parents thinking CSE is corrupting their daughters, instant withdrawal from schools. We have also seen that sex education was removed from curricula in Madhya Pradesh on grounds that it offended Indian values. It was also stated that parents can book charges on outraging the modesty of a woman or dishonoring a person. In Uttar Pradesh, certain panchayats have banned NGOs from conducting any adolescent reproductive health programs in villages. When CSE was first introduced in India under the name Adolescent Education Program, many states including Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Gujarat, Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh, Karnataka banned it. And after multiple protests, the program was revised, watered down, and then rebranded as Life Skills Education School Health Program. And it was delivered, and the delivery was made state as per the state's wishes, voluntary purpose. So this isn't just noise. This is political pressure, which can lead to real consequences. It can lead to selective bans and leaving some states with CSE and others without. So creating education inequality across the country. And this isn't just an Indian problem. We can look at Uganda, where the National Sexuality Education Framework triggered church-led protests and even girl dropouts in rural districts. In Kenya, UNESCO-backed CSE faced such fierce opposition from religious leaders that contraception and LGBTQ content were cut down completely. South Korea had to ban the word social orientation after backlash from conservative groups. Even Mexico saw parents boycotting schools until curriculum was watered down. So the pattern is clear. Wherever CSE has been pushed without preparing the ground, resistance has been swift, loud, and costly. I do want our children to be safe, informed, and empowered. But policies rolled out ignoring live realities end up hurting the most vulnerable population, leading to more dropouts, more violence, and more mistrust in schools. And ironically, less protection for the very children we want to safeguard. When a 12-year-old hears one thing in class and the opposite at dinner table, we aren't empowering them. We are putting them in a moral tug of war. So, are we ready? My opponents may be optimistic, but we say we are not. Let's be ambitious, but not reckless. Because something this sensitive, one wrong move, and we'll be cleaning up the mess for decades. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Dr. Aravind. I am agreeing with Dr. Gayatri. She asked, she don't know why we are angry with her team. But let me be clear, I'm not angry with them. I'm angry with the society, comprises of them who are against this implementation. And they are telling the reasons like teachers are not trained and students are burdened with education. This is not considered as education. This is their personal thing that should be considered. And if they able to talk freely, they will be stress free, not burdened. Let me tell how. In our school classrooms, we proudly teach the children the human digestive system, the miracle of photosynthesis, and the intricate structure of the cell. Yet, when it comes to teaching about their own bodies, their emotions, their relationships, we fall into a suffocating, cowardly silence. This silence is not protection. This silence is a betrayal. The same society that boasts about protecting the children is the one denying the knowledge that actually could protect them. And I'm here today to call out this hypocrisy, to rip away the false mask of innocence that is nothing but ignorance in disguise. Society loves us a hand script. It wants us to buy a car, get married, have children, and own a house, take the bosses in the right order at the right age, or risk being branded a failure. And yet, this same society does to decide what our children are allowed to learn. But let's face it, this society is not pure. It is made of the same people who commit gender-based violence. And yet, we let them decide that open conversation about gender, sexuality, and relationship are shameful. In our society, these topics are treated like some forbidden fruit. Teachers, most of them never ever experiences education themselves, freeze and discomfort when it's time to teach basic reproductive anatomy, and they often mutter, learn it on your own, and they will go away. And so I ask, learn it from where? From equally clueless friends? From unverified nonsense on the internet? From pornography? Because when you slam the door on honest conversation, you shove the children straight into those arms. This is not ignorance, this is negligence. We all know that what happens when curiosity meets silence. Children get exposed to inappropriate, harmful content far too early. And research makes it crystal clear that early exposure without guidance leads to risky behavior and lifelong consequences that could have been prevented. These topics we are sweeping under the rug are not minor or private. They are menstrual hygiene, nocturnal emissions, contraceptives, sexual exploitation, even inside the so-called safety of home. And yet, we make children feel shame for even asking a question. In some schools, boys are sent out of the room when menstrual hygiene is discussed, as if periods are something secret, shameful. Interaction between boys and girls is restricted, building walls of ignorance that lead to misunderstanding, social tension, and even mental health struggles. Some adults are not just ignoring the problem, they are building active barriers. And every barrier we build pushes a child close to harm. What we need instead are bridges. Bridges of trust, truth, and open dialogue. If you fear that comprehensive sexuality education will corrupt children, then hear me clearly. The true corruption is in your silence. The answer is not to blindfold our children. It is to prepare them. Preparation means harm reduction. It means safe classroom where no question is too awkward to ask. We can and we must adapt international best practices to our own culture, values, and tradition. If we truly care about protecting our children, we will find solutions, not excuses. Even politicians will stand with us if we show them the indeniable strength of an informed, responsible generation. Yes, criticism will come. It always does. But let the criticism sharpen us, not silence us. Because in a world ruled by artificial intelligence, viral trends, and constant online influence, we cannot afford to have our children's mind shaped by half-truths and dangerous myths. We have the power and the responsibility to guide them towards safety, respect, and dignity. Let me be very clear. The well-being of each single child is not just a private matter. It is the backbone of a nation's future. When we fail them, we fail ourselves and we fail our own country. And we, standing the team for motion, refuse to be the part of their failure. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dr. Pranav. I'll be speaking against the motion. When I look at my opponents here, what I see is a confused bunch. They are confusing necessity with readiness. And when it comes to readiness, some of them gave some examples of some local interventions. We working in public health know that many interventions work in silos, but when extrapolated, they don't function as well. And one of them equated RKSK and CSE, but RKSK has a completely different module, which is much more context specific, and maybe individually it can be individually tailored also. But let's look at them. They are also currently working in a school in Delhi. How is RKSK implementation going on there? When was the last time they got? How many weeks before was their last weekly iron and folic acid tablet that they received? So going into my points, I would like to focus on some legal readiness aspect of this. Why do we have laws, my dear friends? To safeguard our rights, to ensure that no one can violate them and get away with it. To at least keep alive a hope for justice. If a child aged 6 to 14 years of age is withdrawn from the school, anyone among us can go and file a complaint, and the parents will be charged with violation of the right to education of the child, and the child will probably be taken back to school. But what happens when the parents prevent their children whose age is more than 14 from going to school? Is there a law preventing that? Sadly, no. So what do you think in a scenario where we prematurely make comprehensive sexuality education compulsory, would parents end up pulling their children out of schools? India, being a diverse country, has a lot of minority communities who consider homosexuality and even sex, unless for procreation, as a sin. How would they react? This will eventually end up depriving education to those who need it the most. Are we really ready for CSE? Don't you think? So, okay, let's imagine that we do implement CSE. What next? Are non-heterosexual couples legally recognized in this country? No. Can they legally go for surrogacy or adoption? No. Sexual violence in which the perpetrator is not a male and the victim is not a female does not amount to rape. It is usually treated as unnatural sexual offense or sexual assault, which warrants a much milder punishment. Voyeurism, stalking, and outraging the modesty of women. These are all acts defined as acts committed against biological females. The POSH Act, Sexual Harassment of Women at Workplace, is a key legislation to protect women from sexual harassment at workplace in a country where third gender individuals are harassed on a day-to-day basis in their workplaces. My opponent, Dr. Parshav, has worked extensively with the transgender community for his thesis. And he would know quite well that sexual violence against transgender community is unfortunately considered an inevitable part of their day-to-day lives, their lives filled with suffering and struggles. Why is it so? They don't even bother going to the police station because they know that across the way they'll have to face multiple levels of harassment and assaults before getting a modest punishment for the perpetrators, if they are ever able to get the same. This is because of lack of powerful laws to safeguard their rights. Don't you think the first thing we need is laws that consider transgender and other genders as equal humans before anything else? So that our future generation, which includes all genders, can at least hope that in front of the judiciary, they'll be given a fair chance. For my thesis, I had to visit multiple schools in Faridabad district, Haryana. Lack of teachers is a disaster that is right now staring us in the face. I've been to multiple senior secondary schools which function as high schools with 2 to 3 teachers for the entirety of the classes. My opponents seem to have forgotten the basics. They seem to have forgotten planning cycle if they have studied it before. And maybe it's time for a revision. What do we need before implementing, thinking about a new plan? We need situational analysis, which includes assessment of the implementation of current strategy before planning a new one. Have we done that? Have we assessed the level of implementation of the sex education module and whether it is really working? Have we engaged stakeholders, which include teachers, administrators, students, social organizations, and most importantly, parents? Let's not undermine the opinion of parents in this regard, because at the end of the day, parents are responsible for the actions of their children, at least until they turn 18. Have we assessed our resources, whether it is sufficient to meet the requirements? For all I know, I don't even think we have finalized our objectives. We do not have a consensus on what is the curriculum, what is age appropriate for this country. I've had the opportunity to talk to a large number of principals, teachers, and students as a part of my thesis, and outside of that, also we worked in schools and in community among adolescents. Sex education today in this country is a joke. Teachers skip the classes or they read through the text. In schools which actually do something, they limit it to good touch and bad touch. What I'm talking about is the majority of this country who go to government schools and small scale private schools. If something is not working, there is no point in going for more ambitious goals. What is needed is an extensive assessment of the program, why it is not working, what changes are necessary, and how to go about it. And we need stakeholder engagement for that. We need research. We need evidence. Let's not forget evidence-based research and evidence-based public health in this regard, just because it's a sensitive topic and many people are emotional about it. So, to sum it up, do I believe comprehensive sexuality education is necessary? Probably yes. But are we ready to implement the same in Indian schools? Certainly not. Thank you.
That was quite an intensive segment already, and we're just halfway through, which is a great start. But let's have a quick break now, and we'll break for tea for 5 minutes. Before that, we want to make sure we have a group photo with everyone who's joining us over here. So actually, we have 4 people giving the opening statement, and the 5th person is giving the rebuttal from each team.
We'll have a rebuttal after the tea. So 2 people will speak as rebuttal.
So we'll have a quick group photo in the staircase outside the building, and then followed by which we'll move to the tea area. And we'll join back here in another 5-10 minutes. Thank you everyone for coming back in time. We'll start the next session, next segment of our debate competition, which is the rebuttal round. We'll first have a member from the team speaking against the motion, starting the rebuttal round. For that, from the against team, I think Dr. Prakalp will be starting. Dr. Prakalp, you can take stage.
So, good afternoon. I think through all the debate, we could figure out that we are as ready to implement CSE as we are ready to eliminate TB by this year. So, basically, our friends mistook rules for silence and started shouting at all of us. Let me remind you that this is not a mainstream, commonplace, primetime news channel. So, I'm here to speak against the idea that India is ready for full, large-scale or comprehensive sexuality education in schools. On paper, it sounds nice. It sounds progressive, right? But that, are we ready? That is not the reality. If we push it too soon, we can end up harming our culture, confuse our children, and also end up with a big failure because of practical problems that exist within the system and within our country. Supporters of CSE talk about foreign studies and its health benefits, what I should say as perceived health benefits. But those doesn't fit in Indian context at all. Why? Because of deep Indian taboos, because of weak systems that we follow, and because of a strong opposition both from the community as well as the parents. We all must not forget about the huge uproar that took in US when comprehensive sexuality education was launched. Parents, when saw the graphical images and everything inside that, so there was a huge uproar among the parents that why this education is given to our children. They considered it not as comprehensive, but they called it sexualizing the education. International declaration affirms that parents have right that what moral things should be taught in the curriculum to grow their children in a more mature way and in an understanding way. So if the parents have those rights, who are we to snatch it from them? That is an argument from US. We are talking about the readiness of the program, that are we ready to introduce this CSE concept. Let's first talk about our values. They say that we will adjust CSE to our culture, but do you think a country like India with so much of diversity, socio-economic disparities, are we really ready? In India, many communities and almost all the religious groups that you will see around are see it as a Western idea, that it goes against modesty and family values. We have seen this before. When this was launched in 2007, there was a resistance against in all these states like Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Gujarat, Karnataka, that they clashed with local beliefs. And this is not even history, it is still true. Even the Supreme Court in 2024, while this supporting sex education in POXO Act, we do support sex education, but it agreed that many states still ban it due to the misconceptions that are present in the society. So if we are talking about the readiness, then I don't think we are ready. As a doctor, even we all must have tried talking about these topics in conservative areas. We have worked in PHCs. So what happens usually? A lot of the times families get upset and they shut us down. So instead of reducing the stigma that we are looking for, it sometimes becomes worse. In our culture, such talks are private within the family, not open in classrooms. I am not saying that sex education should not be given at all. If we force it before people are ready, we will face more backlash, more resistance, definitely not less. Second, we hear claims from our friends that CSE will reduce teen pregnancies and diseases. Maybe in some countries, but in India, research also indicates that it could encourage kids to try new things before they are ready. What we call promiscuity or sankirnata in Hindi. Our teenagers are already under huge exam pressure, dealing with stress and emotions, bringing in topics like safe sex, consent, contraceptive too early without emotional readiness. The thing we are talking about here is emotional readiness. It is okay if we are allowing it after a certain age of emotional readiness, but a 10-year-old or a 4-year-old, I don't think he or she is emotionally ready. I just want to share this experience. This was not in my script, but I will share it. I saw an interview in that they say in Netherlands, in Europe, where it was applied, this CSE concept, it was said that a toddler was being taught to explore gender identity and sexuality. A toddler, a 3 to 4 year old who can barely even speak, what he will identify about him, his own identity and sexuality. This concept of comprehensive, I don't know what is so comprehensive about it. Basically, babies, if you will read the international documents present in that, so these documents mention babies as sexual beings. They are basically encouraging early childhood masturbation to 8-year-old, 7-year-old. We talk about age appropriateness. Is it appropriate? No. Beyond this explicit content, there's a deeper problem with CSE. It also pushes particular ideologies like worldview that separates biological sex from your identity. It normalizes sexual activities at a very early age. Treats or promotes, not basically promotes, but treats issues like abortion very casually. We all know what kind of problems an abortion can create. I don't consider it as a it is not neutral education. It is an indoctrination presented as social change rather than knowledge. And India is definitely not ready for it. So, coming to the end, we must protect our children, give them the right knowledge at the right time and in the right way. Let's not run just to look modern. Let's work together with families, with communities, and with our teachers, so that when the time comes, our children are truly ready, because our future deserves nothing less. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. A lot has been said and has been thrown here and there. So I'll first answer some of the queries that I have found. One thing is, Dr. Prakal mentioned that 3 to 4 year toddler has been taught about sex and sexuality in schools. Please read the curriculum of comprehensive sexuality education. It starts from 5 years of age. It has age appropriate material. You can question according to Indian context about 1 or 2 possibilities, but I think it has all things that a child need to be aware of. Second thing, one is they are contradicting their own statements. They said that children are being taught about gender identities, and they were talking about transgender rights. Are they really on the same page? I don't think so. I have been during my thesis, met a lot of transgender people, and why they are away from the society. One of the basic reason is they were pushed out of schools because of discrimination, because of stigma, and that's why they went to sex work, and that's why they are stigmatized till date. So where will you get their rights from? You will get their rights with education, educating people about gender identities, educating people that it is right to feel what you feel and it can't be changed. Then people also said that that there are scenarios where people are encouraging children to get into masturbation, to get into all those things. So children are already seeing everything on the internet. Already seeing. You never know. Children already have phones. They see phones every 2 hours, 3 hours. They read everything. But is it right or wrong? Does it lead to some effects? Who will tell them? Who will they ask? Chat GPT, internet, right? Now let's come to the major points that they have raised. I'll just brief them. One was the teachers, other was the schools, then was the society, then was the parents, then was the backlash, then the change, readiness, right? I'll come them one by one. One thing they said, the teachers are not prepared. They are not ideal to teach. So can you tell me, whenever a policy is implemented, a project is implemented, is it 100% effective in one day? If you have read, you were teaching me like if you have read like planning. So does a plan work in a single go? We need to have multiple PDSA cycles. We need to have quality improvements, right? Second thing, there was some incident told by people that teachers principals molested the students. Why did this happen? Give it a thought. Give it a thought. They were not educated about their own boundaries. They were not given comprehensive sexuality education. And why did this happen? And why there is delay in reporting? Because the children doesn't know their gender rights. If we don't let them have their gender rights, how will they know that this is bad, this is right, and I really need to report it? Second thing was told about schools, that our schools do not have basic necessities, our schools lack infrastructures, there are cracks in the buildings. Did it affect the passing of education? it affect, then why we are here? We have went through all those systems. And when we ask, you already told that there is a lacuna in teachers. There are teachers who are not capable. In India, we are talking about premium institutes, AIIMS. We are also lacking in faculties. Do we stop teaching? Do we stop asking for a change that is right? That is a human basic right. I think no. Then the things were said about society. Who makes the society? So our society, I think someone will not agree that we belong to a patriarchal society. That was earlier. And some people have changed. We are currently in a seesaw. In rural, there is currently are the scenarios that it is currently being followed, because education has not lifted up that much. So education is the only way that we can bring a change in this society. Nothing can. Educating the children about their human rights, about their body, about themselves, about their emotions, about telling them that fantasies can arise, but you need not always act upon them. It is normal to feel a urge of getting sensual, emotional, but you must know where to stop. Third thing, then yes, we told about societies. Please check the numbers of sexual abuse. Who were the perpetrators? They were the family members. Half of the time were family members. 75% of the time were known people. And why they are backlashing? Because children will know their rights and they will report these things. And also, we have a mindset that if anyone reports these kind of things, that they will be disrespected or something. I think we need to change that. And all those statements that have been made by other team, I think they are just perceptions that they have created, and we always create whenever there is something new. The idea of independence didn't come in a single day. People were resistant to change. They just accepted that we are like this and we will have to live like this. But someone had to take that spirit to change, and that happened. And we will also make a change. We adults, we adolescents, together, by educating people about their rights, about their body, rather than all these scientific sciences, AI, and all these things. Then backlash. I'm sorry, just two more points. Then someone told about backlash. Please get into the depth of the backlashes. You will always found an opposition who is always negating the newer initiatives of the sitting party, and that comes from there because they want votes. So never ever get into those backlashes, because that is just a cloud that will burst whenever the government changes. Then change I have always written. Then we doesn't act always, or any intervention that there is in society, we never ever apply on the basis of what we think, what I think. It is on the basis of evidence. Do you have any evidence that it is wrong? You have just fanatic stories around it, but you do not have any evidence. Evidence suggests that it does not create any ruckus. It let people have informed decisions. It prevents them from getting any diseases. It prevents them from getting into any blunder, and it also gives them the right to act, to speak up about themselves. And that is a basic human right, and right to education. Thank you. That was all from my side. I think I have concluded my statement.
Very, very powerful arguments from both the teams. I mean, I personally loved hearing both of them. I wouldn't have asked them to stop if there was not a time constraint. So good job, both of you. We are now moving to the closing remarks, for which the member from the for team will be coming first. Again, each participant has a maximum of 5 minutes to put across their argument. The idea is that you summarize the key points that your team wants to put across, and in that manner leave a lasting impression on both the judges and the audience. So, Dr. Jayashree from the team speaking for the motion.
So I would like to begin my closing statement by telling that comprehensive sexuality education is not just a suggestion, it's a very strategic imperative. Like it's our key to achieving global milestones like Sustainable Development Goals. SDG 3 tells ensure healthy lives and promote well-being for all ages. And SDG 3.7 by 2030 ensure universal access to sexual and reproductive services. So SDG 4 ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all. And to realize the vision of Viksit Bharat 2047, a nation that is both economically prosperous and socially progressive, comprehensive sexuality education is not an option, is an integral part of our strategy. More importantly, the societal construct is a very dynamic concept. It is always evolving according to the need of the hour. And no matter what the construct might try to preach us, any parent will always want their child to grow up in a very safe environment where they feel heard, respected, and supported. Today's children are navigating a far more complex and emotionally, socially complex landscape. The previous generation, even when we attended school, the conversation about puberty, consent, relationships, gender, mental health were often silent and limited to biological basis if addressed at all. Myth, stigma, and misinformations fill the gap and leaving many without the skill to form healthy relationships, protect their health, or seek help. We now see the results through gender inequality, high rates of gender based violence, and widespread gaps in the sexual and reproductive health knowledge. But the world today adds even more new layers. The constant pressure of social media, there is exposure to online risk, shifting gender roles, visibly diverse identities. They are all managing pressures that the previous generation or us never imagined. Cyberbullying, instant communication without boundaries, and conflicting messages about sexuality from peers, media, and the society. So that is why comprehensive sexuality education is not just another curriculum, but a framework that will shape this generation with confidence and critical thinking they need to navigate. By empowering our youth with knowledge to make informed health decisions and promoting gender equality and fostering respectful relationships. And above all, it is an uncompromising fulfillment of ensuring fundamental right to information and equipping them to navigate a complex world safely and confidently. This is more than just education. It is a bedrock of a future built on respect, resilience, and right. And it is about shaping a society where equality and informed choices are the norm. A world where empathy is not a rare act, but a daily practice reinforced by our schools, families, and communities. Thank you.
So welcome back everyone. I don't know, after the tea break there was a switching in between the teams because I clearly see that Parshav sir spoke on behalf of our team that we also told that this CSE is necessary. We also told you, Parshav sir also maintained that, told that CSE is necessary. We were for it, but is India ready? Yes. Our main question was, are we ready to introduce comprehensive sexuality education in Indian school? That question is wrong entirely. The question we should be asking is, are Indian adults ready for CSE? Are Indian teachers ready? Are Indian parents ready? Are Indian communities ready? So, as previously, among 10 members of panel, 3 or 4 members told about same story about the reproductive chapters were being skipped from our biology classes. If we can't even teach basics reproductive biology openly, how can we suddenly ready for comprehensive sexual education? This is the hard truth my opponents have been avoiding during the debate. Then many of my team members share the arguments regarding firstly, we proved that CSE doesn't simply fit in India's cultural reality, as 8 states from India, they have rejected sex education programs because of communities resistance. This isn't just politics, this is ground reality. And next, we demonstrated that our education system completely lacks the capacity of CSE. Teachers are uncomfortable, undertrained, and overwhelmed. Infrastructure is inadequate, supervision is weak, and support system are non-existent. same like previously I told about the 8 states rejecting the laws. Similarly, there are many programs that have been launched, introduced. Still, they are in the introductory phase only. There's hundreds of programs, but still they are in the introductory phase because of not readily planned properly and implementing. Okay. Then finally, Dr. Pranav sir highlighted about the legal contradiction that makes CSC implementation hypocritical and potentially harmful. Then and my opponents gave some examples about global examples and some state-wise small scale examples. We can also give some hundreds of small scale examples, but is there any examples that whole Indian country is ready to implement this comprehensive sexuality education from previously I told from small villages to a metropolitan city like Delhi? Because the examples they gave were there the adults were comfortably discussing sexuality, the teachers were trained and confident, and the parents were supportive, and the society was in with consensus. India has, and as a whole, is India has none of these prerequisites ready today, and this is not the time to rush. This is time to build the foundations. Train the teachers first, prepare the parents first, create the social acceptance first, get the adults ready. Only then we can hope to educate children effectively. The motion asks if we are ready. The evidence is overwhelming. We are not. Our teachers skips reproductive chapters. Our parents panicked at the word sexuality. Our communities ban sex education programs. Our school lack basic facilities. How can we call this readiness? My opponents want you to believe that good intentions are enough. They are not. Good intentions without proper preparation lead to disasters, and our children deserve better than these disasters. They deserve education system that are prepared. Today, India does not have these things. Tomorrow, with proper groundwork, maybe we can build on them. But today, right now, India is not ready. And pretending we are ready when we are not actually ready is not progressive. It is irresponsible. For the safety of our children, for the future of progressive education, and for the protection of these marginalized communities who will suffer from the backlash, I urge everyone you to vote decisively against the motion, because sometimes saying not yet is the most responsible thing you can do. Thank you.
We'll now move on to the question and answer session. Firstly, we can have questions from the judges towards the teams, if anyone wishes to ask any questions. Yes. Maybe both the teams can come forward.
Is it fair for the judges to ask questions?
Absolutely.
Maybe a comment, not a question. They will defend how they are defending their concept is a good idea.
If you wish to ask any question, that's fine also. It's not.
Come here on the spot.
Yeah, both the teams can take the stage.
Audience.
Yes, after.
Let us go first. Right. Thank you. It was very fun listening to both sides, though I am a very strong advocate of CSC. So I'm already converted to that, but I just wanted to take a question with the team which was defending not readiness. There are a couple of things. How do you see our girls getting married before 18 and landing into sexual activities without sex education? Is that fair? And is that what society approves? And the second one is only teacher is option when you are talking about. How do you see that? If CSC has to be delivered, why are we only stressing on teachers as a principal?
So to answer your question, first I would like to say that women marrying before the age of 18 is illegal and should not be promoted in any way whatsoever. For that we can address that through many other legal ways also to strengthen the implementation of enforcement of our laws. As for CSE, again, I also agree with you to the fact that CSE is necessary. That will also help the cause. But are we ready is our question for today. And sadly, I have to say that we are not. Unfortunately, then
one more second question was teachers. Yeah, schools are supposed to have counselors also, but the reality again is that most schools don't even have enough teachers. We visit schools with 2 teachers running the whole of
Is the only option is using teachers?
no, peers can be used, counselors, trained counselors can be used. But again, our RKSK program also involves peers. Peer educators actually in the field have no idea what they're supposed to do, sadly. And we have people who are working on RKSK program also. Or something I think maybe results, thesis results also will give way to the same state of implementation of the same.
In the meantime, I request the audience to be ready with their questions.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, both the teams. Many congratulations. Amazing confidence, great points, and very well articulated. And thank you, Dr. Sumit. CSC, I mean, as UNESCO, and it's like music to my ears. Many of you kept quoting UNESCO, WHO, UNFPA, UNICEF. It's fantastic. We are one big UN family. My question is that India, 253 million adolescents, 1 in every 5th person is an adolescent. They spend normally 8,000 to 10,000 hours in schools. The issues many of you know, you've read up, whether it's anemia, malnutrition, violence, drugs, mental health, suicides, you know the data. I don't have to tell that to you. If not CSC, then what?
Sarita, you know, the confounding nature of the debate was manifest because both of them were saying it is getting necessity versus readiness. So fortunately, both teams actually are mindful of necessity.
But the readiness.
So it's very encouraging that you guys are convinced that it is required, but we may not be ready as yet. So to that, the perceptions are different, of course, and you are preparing in a particular line of thought, so it sometimes is not as realistic as you think, because it becomes artificial. But it is also about, are there some domains or areas which are more ready than others in India? India is a big country, as you said. Can we start somewhere? Urban versus rural, for example. So we have to go around in that direction. We may not be ready uniformly across the country, and it came up coming, states, villages versus urban. So well done. You had researched your topic, and we are very happy that you feel there is necessity. And I think the summary also mentioned environment has changed so much, and ours is the generation which has seen it, all the changes from a rotary telephone to this mobile telephone, whole range of digital technology we have seen. So clearly, the need may have become more. But are we ready? I think with all of you, school system, if they get help, as Nilesh is saying, from you guys, teachers will be happy to receive you as an alternative approach in the school. So well done. Thank you.
Well, I can say like this. Just a suggestion. You talked about NEP. Go back, get the NEP PDF, and type the word search. Do search and type the word comprehensive sexuality education. Is it there? No. How can we implement a program when it is not in the national policy? We failed to put it in the national policy. We did not succeed. It's not there. It's life skills and it's health awareness. I mean, what is health awareness? It's not sexuality education. When you talked about 11 states which rejected sex education in schools, I was that time program manager in UNESCO. I and UNFPA, both our directors were called by the secretary education, not health. ये आप क्या कर रहे हो? And both our directors refused to go.
His director refused to go, my director refused to go, you go. So they, and first thing they said, ये क्या कर रहे हैं आप लोग? ये कब कर दिया आपने? How did you do this? You said it age education in school, now the sexuality education. Political question हो गया, ये हो गया, वो गया. It's very, very
The whole Naidu committee sat on that.
Yeah, sat on that, and I almost lost my job. Almost. And the directors were very clever. Both of them avoided, and when they met the secretary, they said, wow, wow,
That
wow.
was 2009 when parliamentary committee
Yes.
said no sex education.
No sex education.
But now it is 2024, some sex
I'd like to conclude by saying one thing. You emphasized on teacher training. Yeah, it's very, teacher training is critical. But who are the teachers? Even before that, we need to train the pupil teachers. Is there a curriculum of CAC in the pupil teachers training, SCRT, DIET, District Institute of Education, and they do the pupil teacher training. Is it there in their curriculum?
Sir, MBBS में नहीं है.
अरे MBBS में तो काउंसलिंग में नहीं है. मैंने तो कम्युनिटी मेडिसिन में कोशिश किया था, नहीं हुआ.
जिनको स्कूल में सेक्सुअलिटी नहीं पढ़ाई उनको हम सोच रहे हैं कि फर्स्ट ईयर नर्सिंग स्टूडेंट और एमबीबीएस को भी पढ़ाई जाए.
But CAC is, as she said, music to my ears, because when I was there in UNESCO, we were really supporting it. It's a global guideline. It's a very good global guideline, very comprehensive. But the countries have to tailor make it and do it. But the enabling environment has to be there. That enabling environment is still missing. I was in UNESCO and Government of India, NACO said, why don't you prove it, that it works? And he said, UNESCO, now work in, show that this works. And they gave us 1 year target, and they said, do it in 10 Delhi public schools and 10 Delhi governments. Show it to me. And we did it. It was very successful. It was good, but it couldn't be taken to scale. It was wonderful. Islands of excellence. 10 islands of excellence, but couldn't be taken to scale because it was very difficult. And the best thing I'd like to say, it's an anecdote. When we went for advocacy to the schools, we selected the 10 school principals. We invited the 10 school principals to the dean's office here in AIIMS. School principals. All the 10 elite public school teachers were very happy to come here. Here, principals were, yes, very good, very good. And we also invited 10 top class government model schools here to the dean's office. And my head of the department was there to support. We talked about it and he said, yes, very good. Finally, the principals of the government model school said, लड़के तो बदमाश हैं, सब कुछ पढ़ाओ, सब कुछ बताओ, मगर इन स्कूलों के बच्चों को बताओ क्योंकि ये लोग बड़े प्रिविलेज बैकग्राउंड से आते हैं, इनको बताओ, इनको पहले इनको दो. And the government school, private school principal said, no, teach them because they are the ones who are rowdy. Anyway, thank you. Very good attempt.
Yes, a wonderful debate. I think we have opened up many areas. But as a public health specialist, the area where a lot of research is also required. And we give hard facts. They are actually not based on the qualitative studies. And not many qualitative studies has been given by any of you. They are given, like your group has said, any of the newspaper cuttings, newspaper clips. In debates you can use it, but I think in scientific arena it's difficult to prove anything. Some anecdotes. Yes, they are the qualitative, but one has to go deep down. The problem is somewhere deep into our society, and we have to find out the reason why we are not ready to change, and we don't want to change as far as the sex is concerned. For you, the question could be that you again saying that the parents have the right to, for their children. You said, most of you have said that you have a right, the parents have a right to. But you must be knowing that majority of the births are happening without even knowing they are going to have a child. and we have the conception failure. We don't have much of the conception. So it happened, and they become the owner of the person whom they have never thought, and then they said that they have a right. So this is the big question. One is that another side we have the society where you go any park and the two adults who are sitting, they are vandalized and even lynched. So we have a society of this kind. So problems are many, but as a public health specialist, I personally feel that you have to take up the issue and do a lot of qualitative, because again, when those who have worked for 40 years in sex education and they have no answer. And if we don't have an answer after 40 years, the country will again go to 50 years, having any answer. So it is our duty to find those answers. I'm for it because, there is nothing to hide and there is nothing special for it. They are similar to like any kind of physiology. Rather, it is affecting our girls and the boys both. Rather, they are making your personality different just because of this. If you have a understanding of sexuality properly, you have a different kind of personality. But unfortunately, because of again who is making your mind, who has made the mind of parents, and who has overpowered the societal mind, then you will realize that actually, if you don't have any say, then why you are saying it, why you are talking about it, why you are doing this on public health, when you have no role of social change or reform, when you don't understand those all things, from where it is coming. We are just doing our duty, duty of feeding our mouth and that's all, and with a big name, and serving the other interests which are there. So my humble request for all of you, it will start from the human life. Sexuality is related to life. And if you can understand that life, then sexuality is definitely required.
I think I have slightly differing views when it comes to current scenarios, society readiness of for sexuality education. I don't know, like we all are seeing young kids going in school at the age of 6, like in class 6, or even before that, they start talking about boyfriend and girlfriend issues and even start experimenting. So if that's happening in school, then isn't it the platform where we need to deliberate on it and talk about that particular topic? And I think the other thing, what rightly said by other experts, sexuality education is not something like from A to Z you need to take and deliver. You can start and pick, as others said, like if Rajesh sir was saying, like you can pick a couple of topics and start with it, and by the time we will be ready to deliver more complex topics. And when it's age appropriate, it's not necessary that you talk about masturbation to class 1. And so that's where. So just to give you an example of Bhutan talks about in monastery schools about menstrual hygiene in class 1. So they talk about that particular thing. Second, I think also when you're putting things, it's very long back classes which you have referred to. But then there are a lot of changes which has happened in next last 15 years after 2008 backlash. You referred to MP very significantly, but have you looked at life skills education program in MP? Because that's you don't have to use comprehensive sexuality education, and that's the key where we have brought in life skills education to avoid community backlash. And that's where life skills education is widely used. And there are different concepts which have been used from life skills education across India. So I think if you get chance and at scale, I think Jharkhand MP has saturated all schools with life skills education, which are 95% aligned to comprehensive sexuality teachers are delivering and their impact and everything is available. You can look at that as well. So I think, and there are alternate ways as well. What we have health and wellness ambassadors coming in, or even HWC is very near to community. So there are alternate approach. School can be platform, and definitely teacher won't be able to talk and deliberate on every topic because he is not trained to do that. So there could be multiple approaches to. If we combine them, then I think we are there to deliver and start some part of sexuality education. Thank you.
Yes, sir. I would ask them specially to come and talk to us about their experiences in the field as well. Anything that you one or two quick questions from the audience.
Comprehensive sexuality education, why deliver only at the school level? It should be at the community level. The need have made the community more acceptable and I think more ready for this change. Like every year we are doing march, doing candle march, coming on the roads for the same. And I think the need has made the readiness for the society. It should be at the community level, not just at the school level. Because parents should also know what their child are being taught. This was a child safety.
Then as part of the initiative, not restrict ourselves to schools, but also bring it to the parents, have parents on board from the society, have a need, and we have made the society ready. It's more of a reflective question, like for the people talking about the fall of the emotion. We go a lot on streets, like we go a lot on roads, like candle marches. We do it a lot. But if we reverse the role, how many of our male colleagues would be very comfortable talking about sexual abuse amongst ourselves? So when we talk about comprehensive sexual education, we bring in a lot of gender roles in it. Like we've gone through, and there's a lot of noise around hashtag Me Too few years ago. But I haven't heard many of my male friends talking about it. So how do we combat that? And second, we all are in late 20s, would be parents in a few years. How comfortable are we talking about to our kids about sexual education? First thing that. Second, will we be comfortable talking to our parents that we are going to tell their grandsons and granddaughters that, oh, this is how it works. This is what sexual education is. And just the third thing is, when we go on fields, okay, I've had a very personal experience, even residents would feel that. When we go on fields, even people are not comfortable talking about menstrual hygiene. I mean, women, and old women also, they are not comfortable talking about it. Sexual education would come at a very later stage. And we are not talking about menstrual hygiene. How do you think that sexual education could be a mainstream topic for anyone just not to talk about, but also to understand? And when we are bringing in training, how comfortable trainers would be. So this is my take, and well done, all of you. Thank you. So I think the audiences also gave two very good perspectives. Same from the judges, they had perspectives and experiences from their own, work in the area, and I appreciate that. I think that added up to their arguments for both the teams, and I think that added more layers to what they were trying to talk about. Thank you so much to the audience and to the judges. I request the judges to finalize the scores. In the meantime, we will add them up and get the results.
Recently, there was a panel in Trivandrum Medical College, and same topic was kept there. Just last week, I was there among them, and two students were also there, 10th class and then 8th class student. And on behalf of the student, they have said, actually, it's very interesting. All students want it.
Yes, absolutely.
And it is the only, parents and the, whole society.
Not only that parents, but it's the system. Where's the time?
Yes.
Where's the time?
They want it. And we are not able to deliver it.
Yes.
And we don't know how to deliver it.
Yes.
And that's the problem with us.
not with the student. They want it.
I did a survey with parents, teachers, and students in 2000 in Delhi. All of them want it.
Yeah.
But somebody else should do it.
Yes.
Yes.
So that's the.
Yes, exactly. So we are all in for sexuality. Don't think that we are against it. We are
Both
all
also agreed, yes.
Yeah, we are all agree. It's something which is needed. But the question was, are we ready? That was the question. And again, the underlying thing was in India. India means huge. India doesn't mean Delhi Public School and Amity, but India means other government schools also.
Oh my God, this one see, oh my God, too. I think that if that picture would have created backlash, and it has not. It has well received. And that was AIIMS की file रही.
This has been a great discussion. I request Dr. Kiran Goswami, head of the Department Center for Community Medicine, to speak a few words as well.
I do believe that we all have enjoyed and you also have enjoyed because seeing the way you were involved in that study, that's very nice. It's a change from the usual journalism. Thanks, Professor, for that. Needs lots of effort on your part. I know that and I appreciate it. A big clap for this. So one thing is we all now know that it is a very diverse world. In our country, we have lots of diversity. So I can give you an example. We went to the urban field practice area, did the role play. There were kids who were sitting there, and these young students, they started talking about menstruation. And the kids were responding to them. None of the parents objected. I can give you example of my own Kalani. My daughter is playing with the other boys. Very beginning. She is 6 years old. And there are two teachers sitting there with their kids and they're saying, "Kitni badtameez ladki hai ladko ke saath khel rahi hai." Okay, so it's rural, urban. It is also our upbringing from where we are coming, and one has to be sensitive to that. Why? Because the thing is, we have lots of stakeholders in this. All stakeholders have to be involved, like in any other public activity. I am very hopeful that the things are going to change because we are seeing Gen Z, the next generation coming up, replacing us. So we will be replaced and then everyone will be on same forum. I'll give you an example. My niece was just 3-4 years old. We were walking and my daughter says, how do we bring a kid in the world? She is adopted. So she had that, she didn't know. Now, I started with the same old story. My grandmother told me, there is a basket. And when I was telling my daughter was believing it, I was telling this girl, she said, Bua, you're wrong. You do not know anything. I've seen it in Discovery Channel. So whether you like it or do not like it, they are going to get all the information. It is only how we deal with it and make them have it in the
कितने जनरेशन से हमारे यहाँ ठीक बच्चा पैदा नहीं
we all realize need is there. But I see that teachers will become, sir has tweaked that point. Teachers are becoming like an आशा वर्कर. स्टडीज नहीं होते हैं, इलेक्शंस होते हैं, उसमें उनकी ड्यूटी जो प्रोग्राम हो IFA बांटना है, मिड डे मील बांटना है, रजिस्टर रखना है, खाना बांटना है, एवरीथिंग इज
वीडियो में टाइम मिल गया, शुक्र है.
So the thing is, it is very important. What I feel is we need the health as a subject in the school.
Yes.
Only that will help us. We talk of sexuality, everyone says us shut up. But if we have health as a subject, it is the most needed thing in life. We all agree. We are studying tens of subjects which we do not use in life. This is the thing which we should build on. There was something called moral education. Okay, so we got to know the sanitation and all those things. But we need help. Biology में थोड़ा सा part आता है. हाँ, वो 10th के बाद तो वो भी कुछ को पढ़ने को मिलेगी, कुछ को नहीं मिलेगी. From very beginning, have stepwise schedule for having health as a subject. It should be marked. It should be a formal subject. then we will get
Yeah, marking is so good. Thank you, ma'am.
Now invite both our youth ambassadors, maybe Dr. Amadua first. Share
Well
your
done.
experience.
I wish I had done this in 2000. Kiran, I'm telling him, I wish I had done this in 2000 in the department.
So much like a lot of you, I also learned how children are born in class 6 in a hushed conversation in the back of the class.
Just a minute. How did you know the menstruation? Did anybody tell you before that?
So
That
we
was a
did-
shock.
We did have a video that was shown.
Okay, so
to
you
us.
are from next generation. You are from next generation.
We
That's
were
fine.
warned that this will happen, it's natural, but then it was still scary at the time it came. But we were informed that go to the nurse at the time. I was in an all girls school, so it's a bit more convenient or comfortable. So the conversation, it started, one of my friends started telling us this is how children are born. We refused to believe it. It became a much bigger debate. And we decided to approach our seniors because we thought they would have answers. None of them did. All it landed was an awkward conversation until we learned some biology much later in 8th class. So the conversation ended there. As ma'am has mentioned, health in schools should be introduced, but we've also gone around this in mental health a lot because I worked in colleges and how to sort of bring mental health literacy within colleges. So as sir did say that life skills education mark, even just talking about mental health is stigmatizing in colleges, same as sexuality education, but there are ways around it and where you sort of give a broader name to it. And health is broad and it can cover all of these segments together. I am a bit optimistic about the role of all of us going forward as we have the skills, we have the willpower to make some change and create some change and maybe create some comprehensive curriculum going forward. So I hope some of you take that up when you go maybe in your PhD.
Hello everyone. First I just wanna thank the department and especially Sumitra for inviting me to come and see this. It was actually something great and something very different from what we usually see. I don't think I have any arguments, opinions, or evidence more to add than what the two teams and the judges have already provided. But it was definitely, apart from obviously the very interesting debate, what I wasn't expecting was all these interesting anecdotes from the judges and people who are actually seeing the topic that youth feel very strongly about, but don't know a lot about. And there are people actually working on this, in the real world. So it's really interesting to hear all those anecdotes and everything. And also, I'm really thankful to the department for kind of picking this topic. Like, there are a lot of youth-related topics which have been debated for decades over. I don't think this is one of them. And it was really nice to see this kind of topic. And I only hope that the next time something like this happens, if I'm able to know about it, there could be more people, even from the undergrads, who come and attend and maybe even participate. And that would really be something great that I think even we would like. And hopefully we'll be able to add something else to this conversation and learn from all the people who are over here. So yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. We'll move on to the results and the prize distribution. Firstly, we'll have the participation certificates of the teams. I request the judges to please take place. And Dr. Kiran is well enough. Stage. Firstly, I'll call members from the team speaking for the motion.
So are we announcing the winners first or how?
We have the
Participation.
We're keeping up the.
Okay, fine. Great.
firstly, people from the FOR team, Dr. Nirmal. Dr. Arvind. Dr. Afshin. Jayashree. Dr. Parsha. Dr. Sindhi against team. Dr. Pranab. Dr. Nikhil. Dr. Aruvi. Dr. Gayatri. And Dr. Prakash. Okay, so now we'll have the results being announced. Firstly, we'll have the best speaker being announced. I request Dr. Deepan to announce the result and invite. And for the best, for the winning team. Together.
What? The FOR team is the winner today. Come all.
Give as well together. You fought for the motion together. Please collect your gift.
ये तो judiciary bias थी. At least judges ने against वाले पे होने चाहिए.
Yes. And I now request Dr. Sumit to the felicitation ceremony for all our judges and our youth ambassadors.
Okay, fine. So we'll start with the youth.
Yeah.
ambassador.
Today you should start with.
Okay, come, Dr. Raman, and I'll request Madam State, Dr. Raman, stay.
Yes, yes.
Just hold on, we have a moment. Yeah. Vernica, please come next. Yeah.
And
Thank you.
CV लिखने सिखा दियो.
Sorry?
CV लिखने सिखा रहे हैं मुझे.
Okay, so we want. Okay, so we want to now express, token of gratitude to all of you for taking this time out and being here and, sharing your valuable experience with all the residents. This is the second time that we are organizing such a, debate activity. We did first couple of months back on artificial intelligence for primary health care. And now that it was Youth Day, we thought that we should focus our attention, to some youth agenda for all of them. So many thanks for agreeing to be part of this activity and gracing this occasion. So just a small token of appreciation. So we'll first, Professor Shankar Chaudhary, sir, please come forward. I request Professor Kiran ma'am to felicitate, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, Professor Rajesh Mehta, sir, always an inspiring force, to do more things and getting this agenda forward.
Yes.
On behalf of the department, ma'am, I'll request.
That is one of my agenda.
Okay.
So
Now,
it is not only your agenda.
come, Sarita, ma'am, please. Jugal, sir, please come forward. Dr. Nilesh, please come forward. Thank you. And we close with that.
I know it's been late, but I would like to take 2 more minutes to thank everyone.
Mhm.
Firstly, it's a very not a formal vote of thanks. Firstly, I want to thank all of you all for taking out your time, all our esteemed judges, these wonderful youth ambassadors. There are so many stories to share. Thank you so much. Dr. Kiran Goswami, Dr. Anil is over here, such stalwarts of the department, which from whom we learn every day. Of course, Dr. Sumit is there. I just want to keep him separately and thank him specially because I think all the residents would agree that he was really the backbone of this
Big
entire.
claps for
Motivating us to do it, guiding us to do it, and I think sitting with both the teams to make sure that they know that they're doing the right thing. So thank you so much. I think for both the SRs also it was a great experience learning how to organize something like this. Thank you, sir.
Yes, yeah. So I want to thank the entire residents,
Start talking on this topic.
Yes. So all the residents, thanks a lot because ultimately your participation matters, and if you are participating, we can organize and give such opportunities more and more for you in coming times. So thank you all.
And also you have to carry the CSE forward.
And looking for the next event.
I also want to congratulate all the speakers. I think they would agree that they had a support system from their juniors as well.
Yes.
So the juniors who weren't taking stage but did a lot of background work. Good job, you guys. Lastly, I want to thank the technical team that has been there throughout.
Yes.
They ran a little so they were so generous to it. The technical stuff from set facility, from CMET, from our own departments and Santoshi here. The photography, the videography, whoever did it. Thank you so much.
I just see two of my colleagues who are from the department, but they have now gone to CAPIMS as faculty.
Oh, wow.
So they have also joined.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.